Welcome everybody to State of the Industry. We got a good friend of mine, known him for a long time, actually, known him for about, man, what do I say, half our lives,
Sheesh.
bro, at this point.
Easy. I mean, like I'm about to break 37 this year. You could edit that part out. Um, yeah, man, it's crazy. I think we were like 19, 20, something like that.
We were babies, bro.
It's nuts.
We had little chin hairs, man. Our beards hadn't come in yet. I don't know if you got one. I got a full-on beard right now.
Dude, I guess it's the Asian genes or something. I could only rock a goatee. That's the best I could do.
Ancient proverbs, man. We're gonna start spinning some later on. You don't know, but we got some gems for the kids, folks. We got some gems for the kids. Anyway, so we got the segment going on. We got a new channel, State of the Industry, where we're going to be interviewing different people from the entertainment industry to get a sense of what they do, why they got into it, dive into some deep crevices and deep truths and secrets. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We don't go that far, man. This ain't X-Files or, America's Most Wanted. We keep it PG here. Speaking of the man with many names, they call him Prodigy. They call him G positive because he always keeps it positive, man. He's always got a glass half full perspective and outlook on things, which is why people love him. He is everyone's best friend. We have Gerardo Tioseco with us. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you, bro. Yeah, there's a lot of homies that we went to school with that we're still close to this day. I can't name drop them because they haven't co-signed on being part of the podcast yet. Not yet. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get some of these names on here. They're gonna be like, I know that guy. I know this guy because they're awesome. I don't even have to know their name yet. I know they're amazing because G's amazing. And if they're gonna associate with G, they're some good people.
Thank you, man. We are both alumni of the infamous art institutes. They, you know what I'm saying? Like they got a bad rap, but when we were there, they did good work, in my opinion. School is really what you make of it. Like what our what our the group, the little group that we hanged out with, what they were able to accomplish when they got into industry is a testament of our education back in the day. I think it really started dipping down around the time I left, which was around 2010. But yeah, man, bottom line is school is what you make of it, you know.
They lost the G, bro. They lost the positivity behind the
Maybe they
education.
did.
They lost that luster, man. G left and it's like the sun set on them, bro. That's what happened. It was a slow sunset, but our institute is no longer with us. RIP.
Mm, RIP
Rest in
AI.
peace, bro.
It's done for new AI right now, you know?
Oh man, Don for you AI. Somehow that creeps into interview. Every conversation I have to like
Oh yeah.
sidestep it like the Neo from the Matrix. I'm like, no, we ain't touching that. We're not touching AI today.
Yeah, it's a very triggering topic, very polarizing.
Very polarizing, very triggering. We're about to pull a trigger right now, man. We are giving the world G, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, man. So we're like best
Mm,
buds. So this
mm.
conversation is going to derail multiple times, and we're going to bring it back on track. But I will say we were tight, man. We've been, like I said, we know each other for like half our lives at this point. It's crazy that time just flew by like that. But
Yeah, man.
I don't think we ever had the conversation of why you wanted to go to the Art Institute, man. What got you into wanting to pursue a career in the arts?
Well, I see this story quite a bit sometimes, like it just seems to pop up every now and then, but I'm one of those lucky few that always seem to know what they wanted to do ever since I was like 10 years old. And I went to my cousin's house and he had a bunch of video games. We played the NESs, the Ataris, but what really caught my attention was that black box with a circle that says Genesis on top of it. That's the one that really caught my attention. And I played Sonic the Hedgehog for the first time when I was 10 years old, and I just knew from that moment that I wanted to see what this is all about. I wanted to make my own games from that moment.
Mhm.
And it's just been like, how do I get there? From my times in grade school, just drawing when I was supposed to pay attention to math class and, my own characters, drawing my own roster of my own bootleg Mortal Kombat, like I've just always been that same dude. So when I finished high school, I was already known as an artist because that's literally all I'd do. I was like, what's the next step? Okay, art institutes. This place has like 100% job placement. That was literally the reason why I
Hmm.
picked that
They
school.
sold us, bro.
It was 100% job placement at that time. And it's crazy how the industry changed. Um, so yeah, that's how I ended up in the art institutes and I met all these wonderful folks.
Aw, man, I need a soundboard with us talking, bro. I need the claps. I need the aw. I need the people cheering. We need the hypes. And yeah, dude, I think it's the first time I'm bringing on someone that I went to school with.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool. Nice.
so there's so many stories. There's so much to say about that, but we're trying to keep it professional. Sorry. I don't know if we do like an after hour segment, but we got to keep it professional. Yeah, man. So what's your experience coming out of school?
Oh, well, coming out of school, I had some pretty good connections to start out with. You were a good connection for one. I got like my first contract gig from Mr. Mike here, and it was a good experience. It was a very educational experience. We did make some cool stuff like cars and ads and things like that, which I'm still proud of.
Oh, 100%.
But man, that was not an environment that would work long term for me. You know what I'm saying? Mike spent a lot of time in that studio and good for him, but man, it was some rough nights, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta work really hard over there.
Tell them, G.
hmm
Tell them.
hmm
People think I'm lazy, which is the funniest thing in the world.
No, 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 far from it, bro. Far from it. Um, yeah, so that's one thing I wouldn't mind touching base on, you know what I'm saying? Like it's good to take your licks and get some experience wherever you could take it, but Mike, if you could do it all over again, would you stay there as long as you did? Or
I think there's two letters.
uh-huh.
Starts with N, ends with O. Um,
See what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. You were a
but it was a
workhorse,
lot of
bro.
learning experience. I was the studio at one point.
hmm
I
hmm
can't believe. Imagine someone says that and you think it's coming out of ego, right? Like, oh, everything, like I'm the most important person there. But at some point, I was the only person there.
Mm.
And that was wild. But I had the opportunity to bring on some friends. I have friends that brought me in,
Right.
then they bounced for greener pastures, or so we thought, to be continued.
hmm Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't even know about that side.
Oh, you know very well where we went, and it wasn't
Well,
that much better.
okay, never mind. No, I do. I do. I do. I
But
mean, it's kind of cool that everyone was together though. Right?
I think that's going to be the one thing when my co-host Jeremy and I, when we interview each other on
Mm.
about and doing this exact same thing, that's going to be really fun because we're going to bounce off each other and we're going to try to tell stories without giving fine details that are incriminating and could get us in NDA trouble.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I'm
that
just saying, like, just peel back the curtain and you guys are not going to necessarily pull any punches. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like cautionary tale for all those that want to join. You got to look out for some places. You know.
very true. And
hmm
I think that's the tough thing that we're trying to navigate. Another fellow friend of ours, Henry, who I'm hoping
Mm.
I'm trying to find the carrot that's going to be like, all right, buddy, this is it. This is what's going to get you in. This is what's going to get you behind the mic and let the people know how amazing and how awesome insight that he has discussing various topics.
Yes, I agree.
Because, man, I love it. I feel like I go on retreat every time we have a conversation with him.
Hey, he's the homie. I could vouch for Henry. He's an interesting one though. He's a conundrum, wouldn't you say?
He's an interesting guy, man. He's turned into the full-on, you know, G and I are martial arts heads, so we might be touching up on that a little bit.
hmm
We occasionally spit some Bruce Lee proverbs, so be warned. But Henry has become the monk on the mountain. That's where Henry has ascended to.
Yeah, he's got kind of like a hermit vibe. I don't hear much about him until like one random homie just like talks about him. Oh, Henry's into this or whatever, and I'm like, oh no. Oh, do we have profanity here? Or
We do not have profanity.
okay, I am
You have been
sorry.
warned, sir.
Edit that out. Edit that out.
We keep it clean for the kids, G. We keep
Yes,
it.
for the children, for the children.
What do we
Yes.
keep this channel, Mr. Gerardo Tioseco? What do we keep this channel? We keep it G-rated, homie. That's what we do. Yeah, we do it for the children, but also, Jeremy and I had this strong philosophy of
Mm.
keeping it like old school. Now that we're getting older, we're getting in our upper years, we're getting into that potential midlife crisis. I don't know what mine's going to be. Who knows? I might get a bike one day. I don't know. We'll see what that turns into. Yeah, but we like to keep it like old school. There's no need to get super crazy with the language and all that. It doesn't really add to the conversation. So we want to keep it on topic. We want to keep it kosher, as some
Hmm.
people say.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, dude, he's become very spiritual. He's become very
Right.
much. He has his no electronics weekends.
Well, I mean,
So
I think that's interesting, but I see his thought process behind that. Like
it's good.
unplugging is a
He,
good
un-
thing for us from time to time.
he unplugs regularly, and he
Mm.
also, takes his retreats into the woods. And who knows when he answers back, but it's going to happen, man. I'm going to be like, yo, is it cool if we record? It's going to happen one day. I want
Hmm.
to sneak it
Hmm.
up on him, but you always got to get permission. Things must always be consensual. Bro, I'm
For the
editing so
kids, for
much
the
stuff
kids,
out for the kids.
for the kids.
Yes. Oh, we're fools, bro. I knew this was going to be a problem, but I'm like, we got to do it, bro. We got to do it. And I need to see the homies be like, bro, you guys did an interview. I got to hear this. I got to hear how that went. And were you guys behaving? I don't know. That's going to be highly suspect, but we're here, folks. We're here for you. We're here for the people. And we're here for the industry, man. We are here to discuss, yeah, what other gigs did you get into after you and I collabed and worked together? Yeah, I
Hmm.
brought you
Hmm.
in because I'm like, this guy is going to kick butt and we all be struggling for work. My homies helped
Yeah,
me
yeah,
get
that's how
that
it is.
gig. And then I brought you in for a little bit so you can get your feet wet, get some
Hmm.
experience, get some awesome projects under your belt. And what would happen after that, man?
All right. Well, after our stint, I was brought in for some contract work with the homie Steven. Yeah, it's a homie that like I got so close to. He turned into my best man. So yeah, I had some awesome contract work from him in his studio, and we worked on some very recognizable stuff actually. Covers for video games, some things that I still brag about to this day. Some Call of Duty. Yeah, I was brought in as a modeler for that.
Very nice.
Yeah, yeah. So had a good run there. Just be brought back and forth for about the span of like a year or two, and then after that, I found my own permanent gig in a nice place called Kung Fu Factory. Had a very, very good run in that studio. Worked on about a total of 7 different video game titles. Some of them are like Spartacus Legends for the PlayStation 3, uh, Supremacy MMA for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Ninja Turtles game, which was like a action platforming game, which came out on mobile. Stuff like that.
Mhm.
So those were like the highlights while I was over there. Really good times.
Oh,
And then after that, this happens to everybody. I did a little soul searching for about like a year or two. Um, Took some classes, and I decided that I wanted to start learning a little bit of programming. So this is another testament to how important connections are. My professor from AI, Mr. Nick Marks, he started his own school called Game Gen, and I decided to show up and try to learn a little bit of coding and design. You know, maybe build a own project that I could monetize. Little did I know that he started the adult classes in order to try and look for potential instructors. And as soon as he heard that I was coming on board, that was literally like his plan from the very beginning. So after about a good couple months of being one of his adult students, he brought me on board, and I started with teaching kids and teens from like mid 2016 to 2020. And as soon as the pandemic hit, we made the transition from concentrating on kids and teens to adults in the spectrum. And that's the current gig I have right now. Just 100% online instruction for adults in the spectrum. And it's a pretty sweet gig.
No, it's dope, man. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you had that level of consistency and you're able to pivot and keep working at the same place.
Hmm.
A
Hmm.
lot of us didn't have that luxury. We had to scramble and find studios that were equipped to work remotely. But, that was their setup. It was online and then they
Hmm.
decided to have a physical location, but then they just switched back to online and you were able to just keep it moving, man. And that's awesome. And now you're in a pretty solid place personally. I don't think we have to get into that, but
Yeah, yeah.
the tables have shifted. I know you were like, man, Mike, kind of have it together. I'm like, now it's flipped, and you're like, man, Mike, you need some change, bro? Like, are you good?
Man, everyone's in a journey. This is like the Bruce Lee-ish talk, you know what I'm saying, the philosophy. Like I feel like everyone is in their own journey and their own pace, and it's not a healthy thing to compare yourself to others, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what they've been through to get to where they are, you know, right?
100%.
It's best that you just be the best you can be, right? And yeah, like literally, this is what my job is about because all my students, they're in the spectrum. So they have disabilities or challenges rather that we can't even fully comprehend, right? So all I ask from them is that they put in time to go closer to their big life goals every single day. No matter how small it might, like in our perspective, that might be like a whole mountain for them to climb, right?
Yeah.
So let them conquer their mountain each day and the rest will follow.
I had to wipe away a tear, bro. That was beautiful. No, that's real though, man. I love that point of really understanding the journey that you are personally on and how to excel at it, right? So I think
Hmm.
that's a big thing. Now I think we could kind of, dial back. We could go backwards in time a little bit because man, we just breezed right through that. So I'm like, all right, cool. What we got next? Let's talk about the discipline, right? Let's
Hmm.
go back to when we were in school and how that
Oh yeah,
flowed. Because I think our friend group was essential to our success later on post graduation.
100%.
Because, we had a friend group where, you know, we gotta admit we do love gaming. G works with
Oh
gaming
man,
professionally, like he's an instructor. He's got his own little disciples that he's got going on. Yeah, we used to play games a lot.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's okay to blow off some steam, have some fun, but also I think the beautiful thing about our group is that we got mad focused when we had to, so we have
Hmm.
fun, we play games, but then when it came time to it, we're like, all right, G, let's crack down, let's focus on this one class. This is due in like 5 hours. So let's get
Yeah.
cranking and buzz an all-nighter and get the stuff done. But at the same time, like everyone's pretty good, man. I can't get too into name dropping at the moment,
Hmm. Same.
but I will say that, we have friends that are professional character animators, friends who are professional map painters, friends who work on big title games and films.
Hmm.
And, we got to rock with them in college. And we all had like friendly competition.
Oh yeah.
Bringing it back to your instructor, Nick Marks, one thing he had in his classes was he had this thing called Fight Club.
Oh, I loved those.
So good, bro. So good. And it was a one-on-one. You line them up, man. Wait, did he allow us to pick our opponent or was it just like random? It was random, right?
It was randomized. It was randomized. You didn't know who you'd be matched up with.
Yeah. And then he would just bring you guys up and be like, all right, guys, we're going to vote.
Hmm.
And pretty much you got graded on how well you did on the assignment, but then you also got an additional A. So that was a class where you can get A plus in.
Mm.
Whoever you got randomly matched up with, if you got voted as having a better piece than they did, you got an extra A for your assignment.
It's the fairest of the fair. It's the court of public opinion. You get judged by your peers, and your work literally gets put on trial. You know what I mean?
Damn,
And
where's the gavel, bro? I know.
yeah, yeah, it was a really fun way to learn because us as gamers, like let's face it, all of us were gamers, right?
Yeah.
We all had like an innate competitive edge or competitive spirit built in us. And no one wants to be that dude that gets swept. You know what I mean? Like literally gets no votes. I've been there. I don't know if you guys have been there, but like if you get paired up with like a killer or somebody that just brought their A game that particular class and you get no votes, ooh, nothing fuels you more. Nothing fuels you more to come back strong. And That's a great motivator, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Hmm.
I think we always kept each other in check too. Any of us was feeling led astray. We got ourselves right back on track and made sure that we got things done. We got things done on time. And yeah, we all push each other to be better. And one of my friends, we had constant comparisons, I think even after work.
Mm.
Working at different studios, if we were at the same place, we would still be compared to one another because we did similar things. And but I love the competitive aspect. And I think that's the thing when I see kids these days getting participation trophies or gold stars for just having been involved. And, you know, I'm like, man, nah, you gotta push that competitive edge, the competitive spirit. It makes you better. It's okay to admit that you have faults
Hmm.
and that you need to improve because it allows us to grow and improve as people and multifaceted in more ways than one. It's not just
Hmm.
about work, it's about how much you can give to your family. No, there's some people who I've interviewed where that's a huge priority for them because, we've worked crazy hours sometimes in our field and they want to be there. They want to be present for, their significant other, for their kids. And that's something that I don't know if it really impacted you in your relationship, but I know that
Hmm.
impacted some people where they got to spend more time with their families and they said, man, I kind of like this. I don't like working overtime and working weekends all the time and always being away. I like being present. And I think that helps to build stronger families and stronger relationships to
Hmm.
actually show up all the time. People want you to
Hmm.
show up for something and you're able to say, yeah, I can be there instead of I know at some point I started canceling on you guys because like Mike's working too much.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the thing. A lot of these studio jobs, crunch time, is part of our industry, and yeah, it'll take away a lot of family time, a lot of time from things you want to do, and you gotta make a judgment call if that's right for you. In my sector, of course, I'm still a game developer, but I am definitely more on the instruction, education side of things now, and my schedule's been more stable. You know what I mean? I hardly touch work after work hours, like ever. So, so yeah, work-life balance is important to me, and I rather like that actually. So yeah, different things are valued by different people, right? And just find out what works for you.
As well as, feed off of our energy of why me and some other people, we still want to be doing this type of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
like why? Like why are you kind of holding out? Why are you kind of sticking around doing similar stuff when you can just get a 9 to 5, get a real job,
Quote unquote.
quote
Yeah.
unquote, and just have something steady and secure? Why are you still willing to take the risk? And like, well, to us, the reward is worth it. No, man. So I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah, of
I don't
course.
want to take up too much of your time.
It was nice catching up with you.
We'll call it there.
All right, for sure. Okay. All right, catch up later.
All right, man. Thanks everybody for listening. Be sure to check the next one. Take care.